Hey everyone, Scott here, and today we're going to look at some old prayer books. I did a video a few months ago of my collection of the 1928 Book of Common Prayer, American edition. I've acquired two more of those, as well as an 1892, and so that's what we're going to look at. And we'll start at the left, and we see these two are in the box, which is pretty neat. So the first one is an Oxford combination prayer book and hymnal. So it has the 28 Book of Common Prayer along with the 1916 Episcopal Church hymnal. The box, the finish on it is flaking off. I get little bits of it on my fingers every time I pick this up. This is a very small prayer book, at least in terms of the width and height. It's quite thick, of course, because it's combination. But for comparison, I showed this one in my last video. This was the first prayer book I had purchased, and the smallest one I had up until now. And you can see that is a fair bit smaller than that. Obviously thicker, and going to be much smaller print. No, I didn't measure it. Let's do that. Okay, about 4.5 inches tall and about 3 inches wide. And again, I'm left-handed, so I always use my tape measures upside down. Got two ribbons. They're kind of a bluish purple. And this was made, I think it was 1939. Yeah, it's marked 39 back here. So, Book of Common Prayer. There's a certificate from 1938. And we'll go ahead and just look at... So here's part of the evening prayer service. You can kind of see how that's laid out. It is very small print, but it's really well printed. It's dark. I can read it just fine. My eyesight's still pretty good, even though I just recently turned 40. But is that an art gilt? See that gold? Let's see here. Oh, it is. Look at that. Yeah, that's really nice. Unsurprisingly, really nicely made Oxford prayer book. And there's the hymnal. Authorized and approved for use, Protestant Episcopal Church, year of our Lord, 1916. And yes, I did figure that out ahead of time. I'm not that good with Roman numerals. And this is here, copyright 1933, so this must be maybe a particular printing of it. I'm not sure. It's interesting, too. The hymnal apparently is copywritten. I believe the 28 prayer book was not, as I understand it. There's something about 1919, maybe they made a change. Publish an edition without the music at a small cost. Okay, that makes sense. Because, yeah, what you get in here is you get the words to the hymns, like you see here, but you don't get the actual music. So this would be more... I assume the idea is it's for the congregation to know the words as they sing along, assuming they already know the tunes and don't need the music in front of them. Very neat. This was $10 plus $3 shipping on eBay. So that's a good price for a prayer book in its box on eBay. People tend to charge a lot for such things on there as they know that they're uncommon. Next one is also in Oxford. This is kind of a very classic Oxford prayer book box. You can see here it's Morocco binding, limp, gold edges, gold cross, ribbon marker, Oxford India paper. This is a model 07337X, and it's in red. It was interesting to me. I noticed on this box, you can kind of see if I get, if I can show you that. You can barely see it, but they had apparently, maybe they mislabeled it originally. See that? They put another label over top. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I thought that was interesting. And someone paid $8 for this at some point in the past. Not me. I paid $18 for this, which included shipping, and it is in beautiful condition, so I consider that to be a really good price. A lot of people will be trying to sell these prayer books in the box for $50 plus. Sky's the limit on eBay. And I didn't want to spend that much. And there it is, the beautiful red cover. And there's an American flag in here, which was mentioned in the listing. I don't know if you can see a little bit of the red, I think, from this cover has transferred onto here. There's just this slight red tinge on some of these stars. I don't know that the camera really shows it. And there it is. And this one is really beautiful. You know, unfortunately, it seems that it spent its entire life in this box for the past many decades. This one was marked 56. Not as old as the previous one, but still very old. The ribbon marker's interesting. It's kind of pink, really. I'd call that pink. Seems like they just go with just a red or maybe even a black. There it's stamped Morocco. The leather it's pretty stiff. It's not very flexible at all. And you can see it, when I got it, it was flat. You can see it's kind of getting a bend in it because I used it a couple times now. You know, holding it like this, and it's getting that bend. But it's meant to be used. I love the inscription in here. There's a quote from 1 Corinthians 13, verse 13. Birthday greetings to a swell daughter, mother and dad, March 15th, 1957. And this is a nice size. I have another one that's similar size to this. Just go ahead and show you it. There's communion service. Some of the collects. This one, which I used for size comparison, yeah, these are the same size. Now, the only difference is the black cover is thicker. And that's because the paper is thicker. I've looked at it and it's most definitely thicker. And it does result in a little less ghosting, but I don't think it's really going to show on camera. No. But the ghosting in here is fine. And, you know, if you're carrying this to church, that could be an advantage to have it just a little bit thinner. But other than that, I think they're the same. I think the layout's the same. Yeah, this is very nice. I was very happy to find this. And at such a good price. That was 1956. I believe this one was from the 60s. 63, yeah. And lastly, we'll look at, this is an 1892 Book of Common Prayer for the Episcopal Church in the U.S., which belonged to a Mrs. Very at some point in its past. And this one was marked, somebody gave it or received it on February 12th, 1913. So it's quite old. You can see we've got some splitting there, which I'll patch that up. I primarily got this just to see some of the differences between this and the 1928 Book of Common Prayer that followed it. There we go. Book of Common Prayer together with the Psalter or Psalms of David. This was published by Henry Frowde, publisher to the University of Oxford. So that's interesting. I don't know how that worked, if Oxford had different publishers they were working with at that time, but this one also has a relationship to Oxford. And if you're familiar with the 28 Book of Common Prayer, this is a little bit different. The way things are laid out and a little different, but if you get into the prayer service, you see pretty similar. MAMO's got some videos where he looked at different prayer books and how they've changed over the years. I think he had a little more information on the different variations of the American Prayer Book, so that's worth checking out. If I remember, I'll put a link to that below, or maybe he'll just be willing to share a link to it, and if I forget. There's Colics. I like this font. It's kind of neat. How did this compare in size? Oh, we've been using this one to size everything. Pretty close to that, but even thicker. Obviously, the paper here is just so much thicker because it's older and they had to use what they had available. But, all right. Oh, I think I've gone on long enough about these. I hope you enjoyed seeing them. If you did, please give me a like. Leave a comment if you'd like to share something about these. I always love hearing from everyone, as long as you're nice, which everyone pretty much has been. I appreciate that. If you'd like to see more of my videos, I invite you to subscribe. As always, have a wonderful day. God bless, and we'll see you for the next one.